healing crystals, skincare routines, knitting a sweater, fitting in jeans. With Katie and Sarah, no need to worry, you're on a lady journey.
I definitely have a lot of wedding
How
drama.
are you getting your hair done?
I am having a lady, but I think my
I wish
plan,
I had someone.
Yeah, it was too expensive for what I'm getting, but I'm getting like a low bun, and then it's just going to be pulled back and simple.
Nice.
Yeah. So I mean,
Veil?
yes, I actually do. I have a veil that came with my dress, so it'll be just like a bun and then veil atop, and it's gonna look. I think it's just gonna be down the back, keeping with the simple theme.
Veil seems so dramatic for us.
So like I'll be like whipping it across my face.
It's also like, can I just wear the veil the whole time?
I should have it over my face
while you eat.
While I eat, and like if I don't feel like talking with someone, like if it's on Mike's side and I just need to like separate myself, I'll just be putting my veil back over. Like, pardon.
Veil's going, and then make sure it's on like a convertible, like it makes a noise while it goes down.
I would like to have like a power veil, like a power recliner that's like
Katie's coming out. Katie's
Hi, the bride is here.
Lady Journey.
Lady Journey, hello and welcome. I am a bride. I'm moments away.
That is as you said, your number one job now. You have quit comedy.
I don't do stand-up. I don't do auditions. I only do planning wedding.
A full-time. I don't think anyone's doing auditions right now.
Are they?
Done and I don't get any.
I've done very few lately, but I did get one today that I had to turn down, and I said I can't do this because
I'm getting
my
married.
wedding. Yeah, it does really feel like there's no need to slip it in, and yet I do. As a bride, I must turn this down. I am in the midst of all the wedding planning, and I am violently over caffeinated. And do you ever like drink so much caffeine that you think you have time suddenly? like I should look into narcissism for a quick hour. I probably need to learn about this. This is part of my wedding work.
If not just like not caffeine, but like if I took the Claritin D behind the shelf, the good stuff, then I feel like I need to get a high power job because I just feel like a CEO.
Yes. It opens up a new world for you.
Yes.
You're like, I should get a treadmill so I can walk and work.
Yes. Where you're like, this is who I was always supposed to be.
Yes. All I needed was meth.
It really is. And that's what I do suspect for a lot of people, because they say this is ADHD, but I don't know if it's just for anybody. Do you ever get the spike that you're ready to make that phone call?
Yes.
And then they don't answer. And when they call back, you're like, well, that was it.
Sorry.
You weren't there.
You're out of the wedding.
Yes.
You're not my photographer anymore.
But I feel like if you're on that like Adderall or anytime that I'm on a spike in whatever behavior or like whatever I'm going through, I can take in those phone calls, but it's a short window.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how people do it. I've heard all of the stuff that the Wall Street world is kind of getting reformed now because people are like, we can't just be on Adderall all the time and work 80 hours a week because our hair is falling out and we're all having like our aortas are ripping apart.
Right, they're crashing.
Yeah, and it's just too hard, but it's like it's like the steroids in sports where it's like that's what the job demands now, so you either have to do that or you're out of a job and anyway.
Yeah, because it's competitive.
Yeah, and that's what I'm going through with my wedding right now.
Well,
to bring it back to me.
What I was thinking, do you think, because I've heard this happens, particularly in women that are from the very moment they were a little girl, they've always thought about their wedding and then they have the wedding and then afterwards there's a light depression.
Yes, I am preparing for that by number one, I will be getting a dramatic haircut. I'm planning. Yeah. When the next batch of pods after the wedding, be prepared for me to look. You won't recognize me.
What are we talking about?
Well, so I originally, I think I had mentioned this to you. I did in the back of my mind, I was like, maybe I could do ash blonde, but our hair is the same length now. And I think it would be insane if we're just doing the podcast, we slowly become the same woman.
And then we start talking at the same time.
We have a guest and we're just like, tell me more about that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I suspect. But I think what I'm instead going to do is go for a dramatic shag. I'm going to go short bangs, not baby bangs, but short, like a shag all the way around. A shag. Yeah. And just like summer and fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love a shag. Like a wolf cut?
Yeah, I think I've heard that wolf is like kind of looking dated now. That's what I saw on Who What Wear, which is how I give myself an anxiety attack. Yes. I'm like, everything I thought was good is bad now.
But then they're always like, espadrilles are in.
Yeah.
You're like, well, they're always in.
They're always in. They're a summer shoe.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, but I got this amazing hairstylist, which maybe I will ask them if they will join on the pod sometime. But they work at this place called Jane and Wolf or something. Fox and Jane in the East Village. And they're specialists in short cuts and razor cuts. And I've only been going to like just prepare for my wedding because I felt like I got a bad haircut like last fall. But it's an expensive haircut. It's like $135.
Yeah.
Plus I'm tipping on top of that. And it's like to go there and be like, well, I'm just kind of getting a regular cut.
Yeah.
I'm not really getting my money's worth. But this summer,
you're doing it.
I will be going funky monkey with this. Whatever happens, happens.
Well, I'm excited for it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll be coming in with a new personality. Wife.
I get it. It keeps happening to us.
The same shag. But that actually wouldn't surprise me because we've multiple times, and even today almost, we're like wearing a very similar outfit where it's like,
well, Katie, if somebody had bought one of us on Amazon, one of us would be on the bottom of also suggested.
and a book of soup recipes. People have also bought winter soups. Cozy. So I talked to my photographer for the wedding today, and I'm so glad I called him because he was like, "Who is this?" I was like, "The wedding is in 1 week. Will you be joining?"
What does he have to do to prepare?
I think he has to know that he's doing it.
Yeah,
I think that's number one, and then just show up with the camera
and a pop of flash.
Just show up.
My only note, and I said this, I forgot who was the guest on there, but my only note for a wedding photographer, and this is no fault to who we had because they did great, but the only thing I wish he had done, because he was a comedy photographer, he focused on all the comics that were there. And I felt like my family got a little pushed out of the way.
Yeah.
And it made me feel lightly embarrassed when I showed my photos to my parents.
That's it. You're like, here's
you mean nothing.
Yeah,
to me.
Here's a random person in the corner eating. That's a good tip because I did actually, this is a good trick I learned from a friend of mine who had a wedding. Instead of me getting a wedding photographer, I saved money by just getting a quote unquote event photographer, and we will see how this turns out. An event photographer who apparently didn't put me down in the book. I'm like, I've saved so much money. He didn't even show up. Yeah. I've spent $0 on photos. But he did have good photos on his Instagram, and I did my extra work of like following through, but following up, but it's only going to be like $1,000.
What would he have done if you were like, where are you?
Hi, Moses.
What did he do when you were like, it's Katie?
He was like,
Hannigan Vecchione?
Hannigan Vecchione, 6 syllables. My last name is now 6 syllables. He sent me a text saying, I didn't have you in the book. Did you pay a deposit? And I said, yes, I did. And then he sent me another invoice, which I paid. So I hope he shows. But
it's almost like, is he in Nigeria?
Right. I was scammed by my wedding photographer. Just send $1,000. It is funny with, I told you we had a big snafu with like my wedding venue was hit by construction. We've had a couple people now drop out of the wedding last minute because of emergencies. And I didn't think that I would ever be able to get to this place of like, oh, I guess I don't care, whatever. And like, we're moving forward with it. And
right.
The show will go on and like, I don't feel like doing anything about it. So I guess.
Well, there's nothing you can do. And I feel like it's also at a certain age too. I think that also you get that same attitude of like, do you ever run late? Not when you're late, you're like, well, there's no point stressing. I'm late. What else is there?
Right. Like, I'll just tell them that I got my foot caught in a subway grate, But
it's like, if somebody can't make it in the scheme of things, it's not going to.
It's yes. And it feels healthy, actually. And it was like the same with, I was living in a delusion of like, I'll be getting in the best shape of my life for my wedding. Like I'm going to do my sugar detox. I'm going to be working out. And now it's like a week out and I'm like, I guess I'm just practicing radical self-acceptance. And that's my rebrand for my laziness.
Yes.
Because I'm not going to start now. What am I going to get into like massive weight lift? I'm going to get a trainer for a week and a half.
I don't even.
And show up with like, when you get that like toxic muscle disease from like going too hard and spin.
Oh, yeah. Well, they just had, that was like at Rutgers during training season for their football team. I forgot what it's called.
I would ever work out that hard. I've never pushed myself that hard in my life.
I've never heard of it before, but now sometimes when I work out, I'm like, maybe I have.
Excuse me, I think I worked out so hard I poisoned my muscles.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I only saw it on like an alarmist. I'm sure it was like something
called
like,
The Alarm. I love a magazine called The Alarmist.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I'm reading. It's just like recalls from Whole Foods. I'm like, no.
I saw that.
Their macaroni bites.
Was it macaroni?
It was macaroni and cheese bites.
Botulism?
I don't know what it was. I feel like it's all these pre-made things that it's always like, and there was metal in there.
Yeah.
And it's going to happen.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Metal's good.
Metal's good for you.
Fluoride's good, right? A little fluoride in your water. It's good.
Isn't that metal?
I think so.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I just stared into the camera.
No, I think it's a gas.
Oh, put a gas in the water. You're fine.
Just a little gas, a little seltzer.
That's seltzer. A little bubbly.
Now, you're hot gluing. What are you hot gluing?
I'm in a whole world of hot gluing. So you let me borrow your hot glue gun. And
the best purchase of my life, and it's really I wouldn't say it's the best purchase of my life.
It's the love of my life. I have a child, but this hot glue gun is better.
Well, I had one as a kid, and I remember it comes in so handy.
It's really the best thing to affix.
Yes.
Any substance.
It's a very quick fix. It's not a long-term fix.
The glue doesn't get stuck on stuff permanently.
No.
And you know what I was remembering? I was hot gluing while I was, I've been hot gluing shells to anything I can get my hands on. And I was watching Vice Principals and, just kind of having it on in the background and just getting that feeling where you kind of like lightly burn yourself with the hot glue and being like, ooh, that was a rush.
Yeah. Ooh.
I remember those days back at Girl Scouts.
A light putting hot glue.
Ooh.
Yes. The warmth or letting candle wax dry on your skin.
Yes, it's
so
the
it'd be
same
like
feeling of
hurt
like
for a brief moment. It's like light. It's like cutting for kids.
Yes. Yeah. I just want a little stimulation to get me through a night without snacks. But yeah, it's so funny because I remember in the early days of my wedding planning, people were like, you do not just stop what you're doing with the DIY. I'm like, what are we talking about? Why? No, it'll be fine. Like, I love crafts. I love crafts. And then now, like a week out, I'm like, oh, there's no one in their right mind. I was gonna create shell place cards with shells and glue napkins into them and then paint everyone's name. It's like, I don't even have a photographer. Okay. My photographer's gone. He took $2,000 and he left. I've never heard from him again.
That's one of those jobs where you don't think about the future that one, and you get everything.
Yes.
And then after you're on your fifth one, and then you look in the room and you're like, oh my God, what
1 a.m.
have I done? What this is going to be 6 months of work.
And the wedding is tomorrow. Yeah, I'm glad that I did pare down, and I still have stuck to my goal. I got one thing from Amazon, which was a wire basket, because it's crunch time and I can't go pick up any more decor from a stranger's home in like Flushing, Queens, being on the 7 train for 1 hour each way. But that's the only thing that I've bought. I did buy.
That is my favorite running joke. Katie's no by year.
My no by year. I'm like, yes, well, you create your own parameters, you see. And
I bought white boots, and then you explain.
Well, I bought them on Poshmark.
That's true. You will sell something later on Poshmark, so it'll even out.
I might be able to even it out, but I won't. Let's be honest. I did actually get some stuff. I got this sweater recently as part of my no buy year. No, I got this on ThredUp, and so
it's a good sweater.
This is
I like it.
Cashmere, $30, and I bought this again. This was actually as part of my no buy year. I've been having several cheat days where I'm running amok. But one thing I wanted to get out there.
Know about your no buy year?
He doesn't understand it.
I guess he's probably seeing you buy stuff.
He knows nothing of my fiscal habits.
I think you should make a TikTok where you really build it up about how great your no buy year is, and then slowly reveal that you've been buying stuff.
Yeah, well, I bought it, but I didn't buy it from a man. I bought this online used. Well, somebody did do a no buy year, and I think it was our friend Chrissy, if she's listening, shout out, a fellow bride.
Yes.
And she told me she did no buy year, but she allowed thrifting for herself. So she was like, I wasn't contributing, but she was like, but you need a little something.
Right. But then it's funny because you're like, that's still really buying.
It's still really buying. And now I've kind of gone completely off the rails now, because I am now also moving into my new home, bought a home.
You're like, no, it's no buy, but the stipulation is I only shop online.
I don't go to stores. I don't go to stores.
Because that's where I trip up.
Yeah. I only shop online after 11 p.m. when I've had a glass of wine.
Or like it just, now I directly give money to Jeff Bezos.
I just mail him a check.
And I say, put some stuff in a box for me, please.
Yeah, anything. No, I just contribute to Trump now, because that's where Jeff's money's going. So I just send my money to Trump. I buy nothing, but I just buy his Bitcoin. Oh my God.
Just the no buy year.
The no buy. Well, one thing I did want to say is ThredUp sent me something cool. They now are sending you a giant bag. So after you get stuff from ThredUp, you can go through your stuff and sell your stuff back to them. They already send you the bag already postmarked, post is paid.
That's what I'm going to do, because I have a pile of clothes. Yeah. I was like, I'm going to do Poshmark. And I just can't do Poshmark. You got to model the clothes.
It's too much work.
And then my lighting in my apartment's never good, or it's during the day when I have to take care of the kid. It's too much work. I'd rather send me the bag. That's why I like the Nuuly. They always gave me a bag with return label.
Yeah. I'm excited because I do have a lot of stuff that I was planning to just take over, to be shamed, like as in your joke at the Buffalo Exchange.
Yeah.
But now I'll just put it in the bag and send it off, and who knows what happens.
It's up to them.
Even if I just got store credit, like that would be great, because they have enough stuff on there that it's like, I guess, who cares?
I don't even know
nice and new.
How do they keep up with it? Because I have to think, I'm always putting a pile of baby stuff, because you just, after 2 months, you're like, he's moved on to the next stage.
Yeah.
I don't know where to take it. And I also, well, there is one place, but it was such a trek. It felt like that scene in Broad City
when she has to go all the way to return the package and it's in like Red Hook or something. And she's just like in the field.
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like to return something in New York or like donate where like it's better if I just throw it into the Hudson River.
Oh yeah. Because
that's what I do.
Yeah. Just throw it in the river. You're fine. Now tell me about SkinnyTok. You were talking about your foray.
I don't go too in the depths. I've gotten on. There's one that has popped up on my feed. Her name's Svetlana, and she's Austrian. She's Vienna.
Ooh.
And she's like, good morning. I woke up at 5.
I know this girl. I've seen her. Yes.
I had broth with.
I just had a little broth with mushrooms. That sounds Asian. I'm sorry. But I only do the white accents.
And so all of her meals are like, I've talked about it before because she got me into the one thing I picked up is the one thing that you can gain weight is dates and farmer's cheese, which is ricotta cheese. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah, you're like, oh, she's having one or she's also lying about it. Because there's been like a few people that have come out as like fitness influencers being like, okay, that was what I was eating in a day. Yes, but what I was not being truthful about was that I would then have to spend 3 hours going at 12 incline on the treadmill at 4.5,
which is crazy behavior,
which is insane. And it's like I guess that's what you should be moving to eat a normal 2,000 calorie a day diet.
Right. Well, so yeah, Svetlana's, I would assume she must be on the SkinnyTok, but a lot of it is like, it can get categorized because there's one, Liv Schmidt, who I think actually may have gotten kicked off once because they were saying that it's kind of ED, but other people are saying that it's not really ED. It's just being like, yeah, if you want to be skinny, but they're not deathly skinny.
Right.
They're at the right area, right at the area that you should be. But if you wanted to be this way, that you really have to eat in a calorie deficit. And some people, like girls that have like weight issues, have said it's really kind of made them feel better because they realize it's not that, like it is them, but meaning like, oh, that's why. I thought they were just living a normal life.
Right.
But this is what they're doing. This is their full-time job.
Yes. Yeah. Having that like be such an all-consuming thing, you realize like, oh, I just don't have the energy. I liken it to like the hot girl. The hot girl is actually like a finance bro of hotness where it's like, that's 80 hours a week.
It is.
You're getting acrylics. Like acrylics takes a long time. You have to sit there where they file them and they're like gluing a butterfly on and this and that and everything. And you're buying the shoes. And then you're also like keeping your legs to a condition that you can still walk in stilettos somehow without like, me. I'm like, I have to sit. I know my veins are popping out right now.
How are your feet not bleeding? Joe got me some flat Mary Janes that just annihilated my Achilles tendon and I have blood all in my shoes and they fit me.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So a woman in stiletto heels in New York City that I see walking, I'm like, I don't understand how your feet are not destroyed. And a few times, the first few years in New York, I thought I could wear even a platform.
Oh yeah.
Shoe. My feet were destroyed. And I remember one night I went to like a party in Brooklyn, took the train. I never took a cab and I could not walk home.
Oh yeah. I've had that happen to me because I used to watch Sex in the City and Carrie's just like going around about the town
and
on
a sandal
Manolo
heel.
Blahnik. Yeah. A $400
or like a heel with the thong up your toe. I'm like, how is your foot not cut in half?
She's like, I just walked 40 blocks in my Manolo Blahnik.
No,
and then
you didn't.
I'm like, I went to Hoboken one time and I tried to wear to do a show, tried to wear a pair. I had to stop and buy different shoes. And I'm like walking through. I remember being in the Herald Square, like, where you have to transfer and it's like just a violent slope for some reason. It's not a wheelchair ramp. It's just like the platform slopes like this. And I'm like sliding down it, like gripping for bare life in stilettos and then like an open toe where it's like now my foot is also like there's a rat like attacking me. That's not true, but just a little hyperbole.
But I know it's storytelling. But
storytelling, of course.
This is like, I don't understand how you can maintain hot.
I was thinking of this last night. I watched Anora. Have you seen this?
I did. I liked it up to a point, and I thought the performances were great. I just felt like it needed some editing. The living room scene needed to be cut.
The living room scene was
minutes.
Very long, but I will say I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved every moment of it. And I loved like the hot young. And I was like thinking, I'm like, that's me. That's what I look like in my mind. A 23-year-old stripper. That's me in my mind, even though it's like, watch me dance for a second. I should be like a college professor. And that's also what I look like. But watching that, I'm like, I remember being that age and wanting to wear those clothes.
Yes.
And just learning the hard way that like, it's so impractical.
I was cold. And then what would end up happening is I would be that one friend that was like, and this is a bummer, and I hate this is who I am, but we would finally make it in. There's a bar in Santa Monica called the Circle Bar, and it was kind of like the fun place to be. I hated it. It's like, because you're like, can we go? My feet hurt and it's cold and there's nowhere to sit and it's taking an hour to get drinks here.
Blaring
and then
loud.
I'm like, I can't meet anyone.
Yeah, it's blaring loud. It's like you have to get drunk to cope with that type of environment.
Or I actually think you just have to be, have you like hung out with an extremely hot girl that's like, what?
Right.
Well, it's great. You're like, that's because you're getting drinks immediately. There's a hot guy talking to you. I'm like, I don't have that. Like,
yeah, I'm in the corner reading. What? Yeah, it's tough.
but also you're like, you realize like, you're like, I don't have a sunny disposition.
Right. I'm not like
I respect people that don't complain.
it's yes. It's like you want to think that hot girls are stupid. That's like this cultural myth that we all tell ourselves. Like she doesn't notice because she's stupid. It's like
they have
she's a
willpower,
fucking genius.
She has
discipline, an iron will to be hot that I've never even gotten close to in my life. So I'm over here like, I'm above it. I'm above it over here with my books. But it's like, no, it's just cozy. I'm going to bed at 7 because I'm a lazy ass. But I know I've been feeling that lately because I had been like really on top of my diet. And when I eat well, my skin always looks like so good. And I feel like lately I've started looking older just in the past, just in the past like year maybe, where I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I look so much older.
It's in your head.
Thank you. It's maybe in my head. And then, always I get these like comments on, like a pick me girl will comment on like elder. And it's like, but I am though. So why wouldn't I look like that?
Yeah.
Why would I look like Anora?
Like?
Why would I look like Mikey Madison? Why? I'm 40.
It would be weird.
But I still wish I did.
Right. And I still feel like I am.
Oh yeah.
Like
That's me.
I sometimes I enjoy going to this indoor gym that I take my kid to, but it's all young people like under 30 that work there. And they're all young performers pretty much.
Interesting. Yes. That was like a place that I worked at. Like
yeah. And so I still feel like I'm rapping with him, but I realize I'm 20 years older than they are.
Yeah.
It's delusional that I'm thinking that like,
hey gang,
you guys are my friends. You're my only friends.
You guys want to get pizza? When I taught preschool, I remember thinking that the parents were like so much older, but they were probably my age that I am now.
They're like late 30s to early 40s.
Yeah. And meanwhile, I just don't have my life together. I'm like, here I am getting wed at 38.
Right.
So young. Not yet a girl, not yet a woman. But no,
keeping up I can't get results because it's really hard
That is the thing about the thin talk.
Sustain.
Yes. You have to have nothing else. You have to have that be your priority.
You should hire really thin, muscular girls because they've got the discipline.
Oh yeah.
They're not calling out sick.
No. And the thing about the thin talk, which I have watched it at times for inspiration too, and I found this like with myself if I am trying to go into like a calorie deficit or whatever, or like create, like I'll go through these periods where I will be like, okay, I want to focus on like creating healthy eating habits for myself.
Right.
You know, because a lot of times when I'm on the road, it's just like, I'm waiting too long to eat, or I don't have the right type of food available, and so everything goes out. Or I'm like eating a hot dog at midnight, and you know it goes out the window. But so sometimes I'll go through a period of like, okay, I'm looking at thin talk, I'm learning, and it's interesting to kind of watch it and kind of immerse yourself in that type of world. But it really feels like it is.
I don't think they have jobs.
So much, yeah. It's so much effort.
I don't know.
It's so much effort to be like, first of all, you're working out. You know, I'm guessing about 6 days a week. Okay. You're doing different types of workouts. So you have to it takes time to plan. On top of that, you're making 3 meals a day for yourself.
That's the thing. It's the 3 meals. Like I was thinking about this on my way here.
Mm-hmm.
I love the idea of a bowl plating something.
Oh my God.
But that means you have to cook 3 individual. You have to cook the rice. Mm-hmm. You got to cook your sweet baked potato or whatever.
Yeah.
Pickle your onions.
You're doing a huge amount of cooking.
Yeah. That's why I don't like salads. There's someone here.
Oh, it's our next guest. Well, let's wrap it up right there for this week's Lady Journey. Everybody, please like and subscribe.
Yeah, stay skinny.
Stay skinny.
Can you imagine if that was our
skinny journey?
Our closing line?
Diet culture. And be sure to join our Patreon. We'll be giving all of my behind the scenes wedding gossip.
Oh yeah.
Find out what happens. I will be telling if any drama happens at my wedding, I will be blasting it.
Do you have speeches?
Via the Patreon.
Are people doing speeches?
We're having 4 speeches.
Yes. That's where the drama happens.
I think the speeches may be pretty low key, but we will see. And also, my grandmother will be reading one of her love poems at the ceremony, which is going to be so cute.
That is cute.
So everyone, please follow us, join our Patreon, love us forever. Lady Journey.
Lady Journey.